My actions have to be dealt with, you know. I turn myself in the next day, plead guilty.
In front of the world. It was embarrassing, it was humiliating, it was hurtful.
It all kicked off on February 8th of 2009 when news broke that Chris Brown physically harmed then-girlfriend Rihanna. The two had an argument that escalated into physical violence on the part of Brown. Rihanna was left with visible facial injuries and was hospitalized. Brown was subsequently charged with felony levels of harm and making criminal threats on March 5th, and he pled guilty to a felony on June 22nd of that year and accepted a plea deal of community labor, 5 years probation, and domestic violence counseling. After completing said violence course in 2010, Brown posted to Twitter, "I have enough self-respect and decency to be proud of accomplishing this DV class. Boys run from their mistakes, men learn from them." Well, flash forward to March 22nd of 2011, allegedly Brown had a meltdown backstage following an interview with Robin Roberts on Good Morning America when he was asked about the incident with Rihanna. He allegedly blew up in his dressing room during a commercial break and threw a chair at a window overlooking Times Square. He also confronted several members of the show's production staff and exited the building shirtless. Over a year later, on June 14th, he was involved in a New York City nightclub brawl. Yep, a brawl. 8 people were injured in this event, and it involved Chris Brown, Drake, NBA star Tony Parker, and various members of the trio's entourage. Brown later made a diss record about Drake, a remix of Chief Keef's I Don't Like, and Brown's attorney claimed that Drake was the instigator of the brawl, though the pair later appeared together in a comedic skit at the 2014 ESPY Awards, suggesting they made up. 7 years after the incident, Brown and Drake parodied the brawl as a dance battle in the 2019 music video for Brown's song No Guidance, which featured Drake. But later that year, so going back to 2012, Brown attended a Halloween party dressed as, let's just say, an extremist. Rihanna was also present at the party, which was a violation of the restraining order taken out because of, well, previous incidents, so after that, he had to go to court. In January 2013, Brown and his entourage clashed with fellow singer-songwriter Ocean and his group outside a West Hollywood recording studio, reportedly over a parking space. One of Brown's entourage reportedly used a slur against Ocean, and then Brown allegedly punched Ocean and threatened to fire at him, at least according to an incident report from TMZ. However, Ocean declined to press charges. Also in 2013, reports surfaced that questioned the validity of Brown's community service. He appeared to be credited with having served time during periods in which he was out of the country. The hit-and-run charges were eventually dropped, but he was served with an additional 1,000 hours. On October 27th, he was arrested for another instance of felony-level harm. He was arrested in DC when he and his bodyguard, Christopher Hollisey, were involved in a physical altercation with 2 men outside of the W Hotel, at least according to police spokespeople. Brown and Hollisey spent 36 hours in jail and appeared in court, and according to CNN, the charges against Brown and his bodyguard were just reduced to simple misdemeanors. They were released without bail, but Brown was brought back to California to appear in court in LA and was ordered to stay at least 100 yards away from the man he was accused of harming in DC. Flash forward to March 14th of 2014, reports came out saying Brown was kicked out of a Malibu treatment facility where a judge had ordered him to stay. He was sent to jail for violating the facility's internal rules, as reported by TMZ. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office confirmed to news outlets that Brown was arrested and said in a statement that the singer was at least cooperative when taken into custody. So on May 9th, he was sentenced to 131 days in jail for probation violation. About a month later, the LA Times reported that he was released early from jail, but he was still on probation and he was ordered to complete his remaining community service hours and see a psychiatrist twice a week. In September, he pleaded guilty to the harm from the October 2013 incident in Washington. He admitted to the misdemeanor, was sentenced to time served, spent a couple of days in jail. He said in a statement that he would like to say to the court that he was sorry, but he didn't provide any further comment on that. After the hearing, his attorneys released a statement on his behalf saying they were pleased with the outcome of the court proceedings, and the guilty plea put a rest to the case that was pending for almost a year, and the results of said case would allow him to focus his attention back on his music and his career. In May of 2015, Brown was briefly named in a misdemeanor battery case in Las Vegas, where a man alleged the singer hit him after an argument over a basketball game at the Palms Casino Resort. But the man didn't press any charges. In a statement from the police, a verbal altercation on the court led to a physical fight, and the victim was punched by another male subject, who was later identified as recording artist Chris Brown. The victim, alleging that he was battered, has told the Las Vegas Police Department detectives that he no longer wants to go forward with criminal charges. Brown very much denied any involvement in the incident, and his publicist at the time, Nicole Perna, told CNN that Chris was currently in Las Vegas and he was receiving a key to the strip that day as well. She mentioned that he had a suite at the hotel that had a basketball court. He invited friends to come play, and an unruly individual showed up uninvited, was removed from the premises, and Chris was not in an altercation with this person. Well, fast forward January 2016, Brown was investigated by police in Las Vegas after a woman alleged he had harmed her and stole her cell phone during a party at the Palms Casino Resort. The victim was alleged to have been battered by Brown, who at the same time took her cell phone, said the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department in a statement. A verbal altercation took place as the victim was escorted out of the room by private security and into the hallway. In August of 2016, Brown was arrested on suspicion of harm with a deadly weapon following a 9-hour standoff with police at his LA mansion after a woman called 911 claiming he had allegedly threatened her, according to the Los Angeles Times. But charges were once again not filed. In July of 2018, Brown was arrested for felony battery after a performance in West Palm Beach for the April 2017 incident in Tampa. But the Tampa Bay Times reported, once again, charges were dropped in August of 2019 because of insufficient evidence to prosecute. And we could go on and on and on, but you get the idea. Stop giving this man a platform, and we'll see you next time.